Hi, my name is Ilana, and I'm currently trying to write my first fantasy book. There isn't much I can tell about myself. I'm 17 and English isn't my native language, and I also don't have any education on how to write or what is literature, how I should build the book. I just write. Now I am trying to write a fantasy, but I don't really know what kind of fantasy it is. I just know it's fantasy because, well, sometimes it's just warm and it's epic, so it could be epic fantasy, but it's also very dark in the moments or in most of the book. So I don't know what kind of book I'm writing. There is no genre, no trope, and nothing really that makes it fit. Nothing that makes it fit somewhere. It's just a book, just a story. I try to build the complex world where with the smallest details, like how people wish luck, their own curse words, superstitions, and so on. Also, I try to avoid flat characters, like also I try to avoid the cliches. So I really spent a lot of time analyzing my text, so my process is slow. I started writing a year ago, but well, I can hardly call it that I was writing because, well, for 3 months I was looking at the not first sentence, but maybe first page, and it stayed like this for 3 months. I didn't know what to do, what am I writing. To tell if for what I know now is like 100%, then back then it was only 10. I had no idea what I'm writing and what I want to tell. So now I have 11 chapters and 39,000 words. That's not the first 11 chapters. It also counts the scenes that I wrote just not to forget. So it's like maybe half of the book. I don't know how many words, again, I don't know anything. I don't know how many words there should be in one book. I know that it won't fit in one book. I know that, well, there might be more than one book, but now it's just my chapters are long, pacing is crooked. So I just learn in the process. About 2 or 3 months ago, I only started doing the world building. A year ago, it was just the one main character, and now I have multiple point of views and more than half of the diary written with everything. Like I said, legends, superstitions, how the seasons are called, how they count time, years, and so on. And I also have no distinctive plot in my head right now, so as I write, I kind of follow the characters. I don't know where the characters will lead me. It actually feels like I'm just observing from the side and I can describe what they're doing, but if they're not telling me their next move, I don't know what their next move is. When I only started thinking about the book, it's completely different from what it is now. So I noticed that I grow with the story. My story changes every day. There are few reasons why it takes me so long. Well, first, because I'm a perfectionist. I want my first draft to look like a already published book. Second, I'm also a music major, plus I also have another channel on YouTube where I speak about music and musicians generally. And something else. Well, life. I started writing before I even knew how the process looks like or what should I do. So I was gifted a computer. So I thought, well, now I have a computer, I can write. So I just opened a document and just wrote chapter 1. And then I look at it and think, well, how do I start my story? And I thought that that's how it works. You write chapter 1, you write it till its end. Well, so obviously that's not how it works. I lost a lot of time and nerves. Fun fact, that first chapter is still this first chapter that I wrote back then. It actually works, I don't know how. And so only now, like I said, I do world building. A few months ago I started watching masterclasses by Margaret Atwood and Amy Tan. So I have some advices from already published authors and plus my own experience. So what I want to tell with my channel, because, well, this video is more like an introduction, so you know who I am. As a writer, I am nobody. I'm just an amateur writer because that's the only story I have in my head that I thought I couldn't let it go. I couldn't give up on it. I thought about it many times. It's very hard. I have high standards toward my story, toward myself. And so, why? Like I said, English isn't my native language, so my parents don't speak English. My siblings their English is just worse than mine. So when I write the book, I really have no one to talk about it. I have some friends but they don't read fantasies. They don't get why I'm so excited or what I found out. I mean, they listen, but they don't really, well, not that they don't care, just they don't feel my feelings. And that's it. That's just small introduction I wanted because, well, you see those things on media, published author, I'm a book editor, and so on. You see those everywhere, but when you understand that you have no experience and you really have no idea what are you doing and how you're supposed to do it, you just learn by yourself. I know I am not alone in this, so you just know that I'm just climbing somewhere in the dark, trying to figure it out how I will put it all together. So, like I said, I think I said it like 3 times. Every Friday, I will share with my process something like very dry, like word count, what did I found out, and so on. But I also think that there's a lot of videos about writer's block, the blue curtains, why description matters, and also things I see as a fantasy reader because, well, I love reading fantasies in the first place. Not only reading, I watch movies that are fantasy. I just love it, and the fantasy makes me dream, so if I have a deep book with deep monologues or the fantasies that will make me dream, I will pick the fantasy. So my goal is to get this book published. I wanted to get into the hands of people I want the book to have an effect on the person. I'm not writing just to write. I think that my main motivation is for that book to not completely change the person, but maybe just to leave that little spark that might help one person maybe to feel understood or feel safe and to feel like in home. So that's my motivation. So in order to bring this light, as I see it, the spark, I need this book to get published and to have more readers. That's all we want, or I think most of the authors want to get their book liked, loved, adored, and in more hands, the more it possible, the better it is. So if you are curious whether I succeed or, well, maybe it will stay somewhere still to be discovered even after my death, I don't care. I don't care if the fame will come whether I live or not at all. I only care that I give this story the chance it gave me when I needed it the most. So if you're curious, subscribe, maybe give it a like so other people can also see it. And we'll see. I will give you my update on my book next week.